What up, what up, what up? What's going on? What's going on, man? Welcome to episode 5. No days off November. Uh I was just choking. Pause on something real quick. Now I'm drinking, eating. But what's going on, guys? How's everybody doing? Told you we keeping this thing going. I'm gonna bring on a few members of the plant team today. So we're gonna have a lot of fun, man, and we're gonna talk. You know what I mean? Let's see who's in here. Oh, and of course, we're gonna do Q&As and everything at some point. So we're gonna have some fun today, man. We got to talk about the big fight. I know you guys probably saw the weigh-in. The weigh-in was look little, look interesting, man. I was actually trying to get it uploaded on here, man, but I'm a little behind schedule. But let's see what the people are saying, man. My man Anthony B said, "Let's go Plant. I'm rocking with you." Randy Willard, I got Plant. Brian said, "I got Plant. Getting knocked out." Okay, Brian. Brian got jokes. Okay. We got Jake Roberts. Coach is still watching Plant tapes. Nick and Andrew Bush. What's going on, brothers or brothers? I mean, I don't really know. Nick Andrew Bush. What's going on, man? We got Benjamin Cuevas. What's up, Coach? I'm going with my people and taking Canelo. We got Joshua Tate, what's up? What's going on, man? We got Dave Evans, Zach Farrow. Not sure what that means, man. But okay. We got Samir, Plant by decision. So as we're getting closer, I see a lot more people starting to lean toward Plant. A lot more people are starting to lean toward Caleb Plant, man. It's quite interesting, man. What's up with the Alvini money, man? Alvini will be in the building. Believe me, Mike Alvini will be in here, man. Alvini, my man Amer, both members of Caleb Plant's team, I should say. They're in Vegas right now. I was invited to go to Vegas. I was going to go to Vegas, but I got work to do, man. You know what I mean? So I'm here. But I'm still rocking with y'all, man. See, I chose y'all over Vegas, man. You know what I mean? Y'all got to show me love, man, for that right there. We got Canelo by TKO. I was just shagging my homie. Okay, Dave. Okay. That's cool. We got Shelly Huff, Canelo. So when this fight first got announced, the number one thing that I saw was everybody was kind of like, "Oh, Canelo's gonna kill him. Canelo's gonna kill him." And now as we get closer, more and more people are starting to change their tune. More and more people are like, "Well, you know what? Plant's a good boxer. Plant got a chance." You know what I'm saying? And I've been telling you guys that Caleb Plant has a real chance in this fight. I'm trying my best to be unbiased as much as I can be unbiased. Like I told you, I am a little bit biased, right? Because as you guys know, excuse me, as you guys know, Caleb Plant and Caleb Plant has always embraced me. I had a chance to speak to his father today. His father assured me that he's in the best shape that he's ever seen his son in, and that he's extremely sharp. Obviously, the guys that I'm gonna bring on today, those are good friends of mine. So I am a little biased on as the sense of I feel a connection to Team Plant. But from an unbiased perspective, I've been telling you guys this is a very interesting fight. This is a good fight. You're talking about a guy who's naturally 168 pounds, a guy who won the Golden Gloves, National Golden Gloves, 168 pounds, a guy who's fought his whole professional boxing career, 168 pounds. He's also about 6'1". You know what I'm saying? So he's naturally taller, you know what I mean, than Canelo. And on top of that, he can box. And we know that Canelo doesn't like dealing with people that has a lot of good lateral movement. He's had trouble with that in the past. So with that being said, we have an interesting fight. Let's see what else the people are saying right here. My man Josh Chase said the fans will win on this one. Ramon said, did you get a chance to watch some of Plant's tapes and study him? I'm going to be honest with you. I did not. I said I was going to go ahead and get to watching his fights and study him. I didn't get a chance to watch everything and study him, but from what I know, Plant could box. You know what I mean? He's got a good jab. He's got good lateral movement. You know what I'm saying? He's got good defense. He's slick. There's quite some things that Caleb Plant does that is good. Tion Kennedy in the building, the world famous Tion Kennedy. How you doing, my brother? Tion Kennedy was a very good fighter. How's everything with you, my man? I hope everything is good with you. My man Brian said, "Coach for the people." Appreciate it, man. You damn right. I'm for the people, man. I'm the people's coach. You know what I mean? I'm trying to bring you guys as much value as I can, especially, now that we have access to targeting the world from one location. The goal is to, chop it up with you guys and give you guys as much, value as I can. They always say, you the next great coach. When I start working with fighters again on a professional level, and I'm the head trainer, and there's no other voices that are gonna, I don't know, how do you say it? Too many chefs in the kitchen. When I finally have my opportunity to do that, I'm gonna make sure I show you guys what I could bring to the table as a coach. Randy Whirler said, people leaning towards what they see in comments, gotta watch footage to make a decision on your own. That's a fact. A lot of people, don't even give the other guy a chance. They don't even give, they just hear Canelo and they're like, oh, Canelo's gonna knock him out. Listen, not a bad choice if you're picking Canelo, because Canelo's a proven veteran. Canelo has fought everybody basically that you can fight except for Boo Andrade, which he didn't get a chance to fight. But for the most part, he's fought the who's. And he's a proven veteran. Only thing about Caleb Plant that I've been saying is this is a big step up for Caleb. Canelo has been groomed, stepping. Caleb Plant is just jumping, but it might not be a jump. Maybe they know something we don't know. And that's why we're going to bring the Plant team in here in a little while, and we're going to chop it up with them, and we're going to see exactly what they feeling. My man Wolf said, what up, coach? What's good, champ? SY316D. I feel if Plant can control the pace of the jab and movement, he probably have it. I mean, that's really going to be the key. I've been saying this all along. If Plant wins tomorrow, it's going to be because of a jab. The jab is going to be the key. Lateral movement is going to be the key. Tying up Canelo when he has to is going to be the key. Being able to take the punches that Canelo throws is going to be a key. So he has his work cut out for him tomorrow, for sure. But the jab is going to be a very big factor on how things play out, without a doubt. Hope Canelo starts faster this time. Let's get that W. Canelo fan in the building. Eddie said, how many guys were taller than Mike Tyson but got destroyed? Taller isn't necessarily an advantage. That's true. But the guys who beat Mike Tyson, what were they? Right? They were taller, right? Well, most guys are taller than Tyson, but you know what I'm saying? If you can have a guy who's taller than you, who has a good jab, good lateral movement, no fear, can take the punches, knows when to tie up when he has to, now being taller is an advantage. You know what I'm saying? Now, if you're a taller guy, but you give up your height, you know what I'm saying? You're missing your shot. You're coming forward. You're trying to walk down the shorter guy. The shorter guy, catches you on the way in, or on the inside, or even becomes the outside fighter, even though he's short. There's different ways guys can win, but it's a different situation. Canelo and Mike Tyson are similar in the regard that we think of Canelo as a big puncher, but they're different. Canelo's a precise counter puncher / boxer puncher, and Mike Tyson was just bomb you the hell up out of there. That he had one mode. You know what I mean? Canelo likes to think. He takes his time. He likes to place his punches. He likes to play the tit for tat game. You know, Caleb Plant, also good boxer, likes to step around you, likes to utilize his jab, likes to work off the jab, off the feints. So it's a different situation. You see what I'm saying? So even though I kind of get what you're trying to say, it's not the same with what was actually going to happen tomorrow. Another thing Plant does well is sit on his punches while moving around the ring. Torque addict Plant drops that hand after he jabs. Trouble. Well, that's a you know, I need to watch Plant. I should just put on a Plant fight right now and do like a reaction Plant fight. Should I do that? Let me know. But honestly, you know, dropping the hand can be a problem if he gets countered in between, you know, or even if Canelo slips a shot and counters Caleb Plant as Canelo's, you know, as Caleb's working his stick. If Canelo could kind of wait in time and come over the top, that's a dangerous thing. So it's gonna come down to feints. You know, feints will prevent you from throwing the counter punch. You know what I'm saying? So Caleb is gonna have to, in my opinion, you know, be relaxed. First things first is he needs to relax. He can't go in there antsy. He can't go in there fidgety and wanting to do a whole bunch of jabbing and moving and I got a box. He needs to relax. That's the first thing, okay? Canelo's a human being just like him. So he needs to just calm down, which I'm sure he will. He seems very prepared mentally for this fight. The next thing he's going to have to do is he's going to have to establish a jab. But off that jab, he's going to have to establish some feints. If Caleb Plant can establish the jab and establish some feints where he can prevent Canelo from wanting to time those shots over the top, now we're going to see Canelo go into a mode where now he's going to have to play a little smarter defense, right? We've seen Canelo fall behind on points. We've seen Canelo fall behind because he waits a lot. He takes his time. He conserves his energy. So now he's waiting for the perfect punch. You got this guy who's feinting you, stepping around, giving you different looks, pop, hitting you with a jab, pop, hitting you with a jab. I don't see how people don't see this fight intriguing. This is an intriguing fight, without a doubt. Unless Canelo catches Caleb Plant early and knocks him out the way Jerron Boots Ennis knocked out my man Thomas Delorme, we got ourselves an interesting fight tomorrow because Canelo's got to go get past quite a few hurdles himself. He's got to get past the jab. He's got to get past the reach. He got to get past the fact that Caleb Plant has been fighting at 168 pounds his whole career. He's very comfortable at that weight. Let's not sleep on Caleb Plant, ladies and gentlemen. What's up, bro? Everything good, man. Tion Kennedy, man. I'm gonna do something with you, man. Hopefully, I'm gonna hit you up on Facebook, man. Maybe next week we could bring you on here, man. Talk about, you know, your career and, you know, some of the stuff you've been through if you're interested. I'm doing no days off November. I'm going live every single day the month of November. And it'd be dope to talk to you, man, and chop it up with you, man. You know, I like to bring light to people who I know personally, who's been involved in my journey, and let the people be involved with it. So, you know what I mean? Let me know if you're interested. And let's go ahead and bring in the man of the hour. We got Amer Abdallah. What's good, my brother?
My guy, Coach Anthony, man, I'm with the man of the hour.
Yes, sir. Yeah. Oh, you with him?
No, that's you.
Oh, okay. Show people that jacket real quick, what it says on there.
You know, we got the Team Plant. We're representing Team Plant, Caleb Plant. Our guys over at Boxer all hooked us up, you know.
Okay.
And new undisputed.
Can you first of all, what's your role with the team for the people who don't know?
So I help Caleb with a lot of his business stuff, the business manager on the team. We've got a wonderful team in Caleb's trainer, of course, Justin Gamber, his strength and conditioning coach, Coach Larry Wade, his boxing manager, Luis DeCubis. Of course, his wife, Jordan, that kind of ties everything all together. We have one of the best nutritionists in the game. That's by Lockhart and Leith. His name is James Lockwood. And then, of course, you know, our financial advisor, Michael Alvini. So we've got, and then, of course, Richie Plant, assistant head coach to Justin Gamber. Got a great team, great people all around us.
That's beautiful to hear, man. And can you tell me a little bit about the energy over there? I didn't get a chance to go, so I mean, well, like, what am I missing out on? How's the energy? How are people acting? And what kind of love is the team getting? What's the reactions over there? Let me know.
Well, it's pretty, clear and indicative of what you see on TV. You hear the booing, you hear that. I mean, Canelo. Look, I mean, let's talk objectively before we get into our subjective talk. Objectively, Canelo is the pound for pound, arguably number one guy in the world, pay-per-view king, number one guy, the biggest attraction in boxing, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So we already know going into this that it's hostile territory. As soon as all the white jackets entered the arena today, the crowd was just uplifting and just roars of boos. And, it was a heavily based Canelo crowd. And listen, I mean, he's been on top of the game for a long time. So the Mexican fans are used to seeing their champion come in, the representative of boxing, their hero, now undisputed champion he's going to be, that he's fighting or trying to be rather. So all of those things, they're used to this journey. And it was very similar to like when Floyd used to fight. But Floyd's case is a little bit different. But for Caleb, this is our first big fight on this big stage. So it was a little bit different for what we're used to in terms of the crowd reaction. But you know what? It was all welcomed, and Caleb loved it. I think he performed phenomenal on stage. I think he handled it so well. He was in such good mood afterwards. But listen, this is the big leagues, right? This is exactly what Caleb has dreamed into fruition.
So yeah, and that's what I want to talk about. So when people ask me what are my thoughts on the fight, I tell people this all the time. I say, look, man, I feel a connection to your team, right? I feel a connection to Caleb Plant. I met him personally, very nice kid. I know you, I know everybody on the team. So for me, it's like I'm rooting for you guys. I want to see you guys win. And I really believe that you guys have the right guy to beat Canelo. If there's a style right now that will beat Canelo. My question has always been, Caleb Plant, this is his first time here at this magnitude.
Sure.
We said that right now. We know that Canelo's been here numerous times. We know that Canelo has fought Floyd Mayweather. The list goes on and on. Do you think that's going to be a factor tomorrow?
Anthony, and this might sound cliche-ish. It could have been if Caleb wasn't Caleb. If he was, contender number B, belt holder number C, whatever it may be, the answer would probably be maybe. But the facts are that Caleb, his entire life, has been ready for this moment because his entire life has groomed him with the adversities, with the challenges, with the personal setbacks, with relocations, with everything in his life has always been adversity. He's never had an easy road. He's never had anything simple come to him. He's never had something where it was easily and handed to him. He's never inherited anything. He's fought tooth and nail for everything. And it only is right, it's only justified that a fight of this caliber is the same exact way. So no, the stage isn't too big for him. As Dewey Cooper would say, this is a manifestation of all of his hard works, trials, tribulations, and this is going to be a celebration of all of that work.
Now, what is it that you see, and this is me talking to you, you were a fighter. For a lot of people, they don't know, you were a world champion kickboxer, correct?
Correct.
Okay, so you were a world champion kickboxer. For all the guys in the comments who don't know, Amer kicked the hell out of you. Now, you as a fighter, what do you see that Caleb Plant is going to be able to do against Canelo stylistically tomorrow? What are the things that you see if you were in the corner coaching? What are you thinking as a game plan right now would be somewhat of a game plan? I think at this point, you can kind of let me know what your thoughts are about.
So it's funny when I watch Caleb spar. Some of the guys they film me when I'm watching because I'm moving with him because I'm in there with him and I'm thinking, okay, this is what I would do. This is how I would do it. Shoot to the body, step around. I'm thinking as he's thinking. So I also put myself in the position of what would I do if I fought Canelo Alvarez, and I think the game plan has to be.
You can't kick him.
Well, you can't kick him. You could headbutt him as long as the ref doesn't see. You can do whatever you want as long as the ref doesn't see. Let's be clear about that. But I think the game plan has to be just to put on a boxing clinic. Canelo Alvarez is a tough guy. He's a strong guy. He's an experienced guy. And you've got to take him out of his elements of what he's comfortable in. I think he has a lot of problem with guys that can move. I think he has a lot of problem with guys that can box. I don't think it's rocket science of, what has to happen for Caleb to win. And Caleb has to come in with a perfect game plan and execute, which I think he will. And Anthony, I've said it before, and I'm going to say it again. I think the fight's going to be a lot easier than people think it's going to be.
Okay. So when you say easier, are you saying TKO? Or are you saying decision? Or are you like what's your definition?
I might put myself out there, and thank God I can't see the comment section. And I
don't
know
worry,
I'll get a lot of.
Bring some of them comments in. Don't worry, man. I want the people. They're gonna do a little Q&A with you before we wrap things up.
I think that Caleb's gonna put on a masterful boxing clinic. I would not be surprised, and I know this is gonna sound crazy. I would not be surprised if he flusters him so much that you see Canelo get desperate and get stopped late in the fight.
Ooh, hold on. Wow. Hold on. I want the people in here right now to let me know what you think about Amer's last comment. And we're going to bring in the money man.
Oh, my goodness. Abdallah.
Mike Alvini. Okay, there we go. So we got Michael Alvini, ladies and gentlemen. Mike, why don't you introduce yourself and let people know who you are, what role you play with Team Plant.
Absolutely. Great to see you as always, Coach.
Yes.
Alvini, I am a financial advisor and CPA, so we handle the money. And tomorrow's a big money day.
Okay. All right. So you guys are excited about tomorrow. So we got Amer saying that he thinks that he can outbox, Caleb Plant can outbox Canelo to the point where Canelo's going to get desperate and potentially get stopped, right? What are your thoughts, Mike? I mean, let's put the money aside. You're not the money man. You are now just a boxing aficionado saying this is how. What do you see?
Yeah, I mean, this is probably an unpopular opinion, but my thought is, and this is what I would do. I think I would not be shocked at all. Caleb steps to him early in the first 2 or 3 rounds and shows him that he's got enough power to keep him up, and then boxes him. I would not be shocked to see Caleb step and fight him toe-to-toe for a little bit early in the fight.
Wow. Okay, so does this fight kind of remind you, Amer, of like Bernard Hopkins, Felix Trinidad?
Oh, it absolutely does. It's synonymous with all of those fights. You can't look, and some guys will say, well, Caleb or Canelo's too strong. Caleb doesn't have the power, doesn't have this, doesn't have that. But you saw what guys like Bernard Hopkins that don't have the power did to guys like Jermaine Taylor, what he did to guys like Felix Trinidad, how he totally shut down guys like Oscar De La Hoya, like all of those guys. You see masterful performances can shut you down and fluster you worse than just taking heavy shots. Power is easy to deal with. But when you're flustered and you're dealing with angles and you're dealing with movement and you're dealing with this tenacity that's in front of you, and this is this straight dog, because that's exactly what Caleb is. That's not going to mind getting up in that ass and just getting dirty and just sitting right in your chest and pissing in your pocket, because he will do that. You got a whole different game plan. Caleb is the problem with that Canelo is going to face is Caleb's not like any guy that he's fought before. He's just not. What was that last English kid that he fought? I said Luke Campbell on a previous one, and I got destroyed. Who was the other English kid?
Luke Campbell. I don't remember who it was. Drop comments.
Who is it?
Callum Smith.
Callum Smith.
Smith.
So you see how much respect Caleb gave Canelo. I mean, he was on his bike the whole time, pedaling backwards. Canelo just walked in, free shots. You're not going to get that with Caleb Plant. You're not going to do that. Billy Joe Saunders, again, all respect to Billy Joe. I just don't think that the boxing ability and the IQ of Billy Joe and Caleb is the same. I just don't. So I think you're going to see an entirely different fight, and I think people are going to be very surprised of what Caleb shows.
Super J. Cole said, was Caleb Plant in kickboxing too? Was he a kickboxer?
He was. He started his career actually kickboxing. His father, Richie, who, by the way, is a huge fan of yours, Coach Anthony, started him in kickboxing. They both came from that kickboxing pedigree. Yeah.
Yeah, his father was real nice, man. It was really dope to hear that. I had no idea that he actually knew who I was. But
I told you our last conversation. Everybody watches you. You might not know, but everybody watches you. Everybody watches what you do. Everybody's a fan of what you do.
Oh man, I appreciate that, guys. Definitely. All right, we got somebody. Chuck Williams said Team Plant. All right, so Caleb got some fans in here. Justin said Caleb is mentally as tough as it gets. I think Amer is spot on. Okay.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Listen, you remember what happened when Rocky Balboa went to Russia and fought Ivan Drago? You remember the crowd that he walked into in round 1 and then the crowd he left with in round 12?
That's what's gonna happen.
That's it.
You know what I see in this fight, if things go the way that you guys want it to go, you know what I mean, Team Plant wants it to go, or your supporters want it to go, I see something similar to what you're saying, Amer. I can see this fight really reminds me of Felix Trinidad and Bernard Hopkins. The only difference being is that Canelo, to me, is a better boxer than Trinidad was.
Agreed.
So, and Canelo does things that is very, very elusive, right? Like one thing that he does very well is he slips and he counters very well. He feints very well. He throws direction shots, right? You don't know where the shot's gonna go. If Caleb can just get past those few things, Caleb has all the other intangibles. He's the taller guy. He got a good jab. He has lateral movement. And the last time we seen Canelo fight anybody with this skill set, he's had trouble. He's had trouble with Lara. He's had trouble with Trout.
Exactly.
I think Caleb Plant, is obviously bigger than Lara. I think he's a better boxer than Trout was. I think he's a better boxer than Jacobs was. Even a better boxer than Triple G. Triple G was just known for that power. So
yeah,
people say that Caleb is in over his head. Is he really? Like, when you really look at everything and see everything that lines up, the only question mark is what happens jumping from this level to this level. That's the only question mark. And you answered that earlier on your thoughts, but go ahead.
Coach, you said something earlier about would Caleb be ready for a stage like this, and would he freeze up on a stage like this? I discovered Caleb Plant in 2015 just watching TV one day, and a baseball game got rained out, and a B-level boxing production came on TV, and it was boxing, so I watched it. And it was one of Caleb's first professional fights, very early in his career, and he was being interviewed by the host before the fight. And she asked him, your opponent does this, this, and this. Does this worry you? And he immediately brought up his daughter, and his daughter was alive at the time. She was obviously in the hospital for a long time, very sick. And he said, I'm already going through the worst thing that a human being can go through. So if you think that boxing is a big deal, or that this guy scares me in any way, you're sadly mistaken. Yeah. And with the things Caleb has been through in his life, I mean, this is just a show. It's just boxing. There are no lights bright for him. He shines under the bright lights. He's the only fighter I've ever met who, whenever I'm in town, either he or Jordan will reach out to me and say, oh, you're in town. Come by the gym. Caleb's sparring tomorrow. Oh, you have friends? Bring them in. Most boxers don't want people coming to their sparring session. Caleb loves a crowd. He shines the brightest when the lights are the brightest. So I have no doubt he'll be ready.
Man, you guys look really confident. Caleb looked really, really confident in the weigh-in today too, man. Talk to me a little bit about the weigh-in, man. Did you guys see anything in Canelo? Did you guys see anything different? Like, you know what, man, I think we're getting in this guy's head a little bit.
When was the last time, and we go back to the press conference, when was the last time you seen Canelo push a guy? You never did. Man, we already crossed this bridge on our last conversation. Don't tell me the word motherfucker, which, by the way, nice shirt, Elvini. Don't tell me the word motherfucker is what set this guy off. It's not. It's the other stuff, right?
Come a little closer. Come a little closer and show that shirt off in the front a little bit for me. Undisputed. Oh my God, you guys are really, you guys, let me tell you, you guys are coming in the way you're supposed to come in if you challenge for, undisputed champion of the world. You guys are definitely coming in the right way. You guys are doing everything right. All you guys got to do tomorrow is perform.
Right. Is he under in his head? He absolutely is. When was the last time you saw Canelo this upset at a weigh-in at a press conference? You haven't. And the reason why is, because Alvarez is just sometimes Freudian slip. Sometimes, that kind of stuff. gets under your head. I mean, if I were to tell you, hey, Anthony, by the way, you're wearing a white hat, you'd be like, man, you stupid. Like, it's a black hat. But if I tell you, man, that hat is ugly, then you get upset because maybe there's some truth to it. So you only get upset at the things that are true, right?
That's true.
Right. So when Caleb says what he says, the reason why people get upset is because it's true.
Damn. My man Bill Burr said Mike is great, man. You got fans in here, Mike.
What's up, Billy? I
That's
was upset because Caleb, I mean, how dare he believe he could win this fight? When's the last time an opponent into a Canelo fight and said, I'm going to bully the here to kick your ass?
Yeah.
That's Caleb in a nutshell.
Damn. My man said, Team Plant, let's go, and still undefeated, new undisputed champion of the world, Caleb Sweet Hands Plant. You guys are bringing in the Caleb Plant fans because they've been, Caleb Plant fans been quiet up until today. I feel like now guys are starting to, and it seems like on social media, he has Caleb Plant has a lot of the American people right now. You know what I mean? I noticed.
Sure, he does. He got all the American people.
Yeah, like we're all rooting for him. We're all supporting him. Like, listen, I've been a fan of Canelo since Canelo was a pup to where he is now. But I'd be lying if I said I want him to win tomorrow, man. You know what I'm saying? I really would love to see Caleb Plant pull this thing off, man. I feel like the whole boxing community is really like, at least here and on this side of town, the Philadelphia side of town, everybody's rooting for Plant, man. When I say everybody, I mean everybody wants Plant to do this. So you guys got a lot of support, you know what I'm saying, in the boxing community. It's more so the fans that are, casuals, I would say, that are just rooting
but
them
you gotta also understand this, Coach Anthony, is the majority of people when this fight got announced never knew who Caleb Plant was. As the Showtimes came out and all the All Access came out, and as Caleb's YouTube channel, Road to Undisputed, and all of those shows came out, as they were all coming out, people started to know who Caleb was, get his backstory, understand his attitude. Look, Mike Tyson. We were on Hotboxing a few months ago with Badu Jack, and Mike goes, "He's your friend, man. You're gonna go to his funeral. He's gonna get killed." Today, I sat next to Mike at the weigh-ins, and he's like, "Man, anything can happen." So the more people start knowing who Caleb is, the more the tide starts turning. And this is not going to be a guy that we're going to go walk all over. This is going to be a guy that's going to stand toe-to-toe. He's not going to be afraid to step up. Now, if Canelo would have pushed anybody at a press conference, Caleb said most guys would have swung back. No, most guys would not have swung back. Most guys would have been, okay, let's wait for the security to come and stuff. Caleb came back and he slapped him in his mouth. So, there are different caliber level guys, different mentalities. Mike Alvini hit it perfect on the head. This is a guy that's already been through the worst part of his life. He said to me, he goes, when I dug my daughter's grave, I dug one right next to her because I'm already dead. I died with her that day. When she's gone, that was everything out of me. So how do you beat a guy like that? I mean, sometimes it's not even that you can't beat him. He can't be beat. He won't be beat. And that's the difference in boxing. And that, Anthony, this is a mental game. I think the physical part of this game is probably 40%, 30%. The rest of it is all tenacity, heart, and courage. And nobody has what Caleb has.
Yeah, man. No, you make a really good point. And a lot of people here are still laughing about the alvarez joke you got right here. Canelo Computero Alvarez. Now, let me ask you a question about this real quick, about this whole, I know we're not here for speculation, but what's your thoughts on, I don't even know. I haven't been following it. What's the drug testing procedure right now that's going on with this particular fight?
No, VADA was heavily involved. Look, I've been with Caleb quite a few times outside of the gym. 3 out of the 4 or 5 times that we were out, VADA showed up sporadically. So they're testing. And listen, if we really want to get into the nuts and bolts and details, I'll tell you how Canelo got caught the first time. But it was a major oversight that they didn't expect VADA to show up. And contracts were signed without the Alvarez camp knowing. But regardless, the meat, whatever it is, that's okay. Even though your trainers are all butchers, so they know where to eat. But whatever. Anyway, so moving forward, the issue is these guys are heavily tested. These guys are VADA is a phenomenal. Dr. Goodman's done a phenomenal job with the VADA testing. They show up at any time. Sometimes they'll show up 2 days in a row to make sure that. And mind you, mind you, some of these steroids that are out now, like Jean Pascal, who's the undisputed champion of steroids, whose steroids, by the way, were on steroids. 5 back-to-back failed tests. He didn't expect them to turn around and come back within a 48-hour window. And he had stuff that, dissipated and it went away in 48 hours. But to his credit, I think he was probably experimenting with a new COVID shot where you get 6 doses. And that's probably what he thought he was getting. I don't want to say that he knew he was taking steroids because we don't want to get, finger pointing. But, fuck out of here. Fucking cheaters. That's what they are. These guys will go in there and cheat. That's what they do.
Somebody else is making a good. Somebody else made a good point. Well, Jorge started this right here. It appears Canelo always gets a nod from the judges. Are you guys worried about it? What a decision would look like, basically.
You always worry about what judges. I mean, you saw, the infamous judge, and I don't want to name her name, from Nevada that scored an awful scorecard. I think was it the Maidana fight, Elvini?
No, the Canelo Alvarez Floyd Mayweather.
Oh yeah, the Canelo Floyd fight. Yeah, you're right. You're right. You're always afraid of what the judges say. You are always, but I think that Nevada has a good system here. I think that Bob Bennett's done a good job weeding out all of those issues. And the panel, I'm pretty comfortable with. I think the team's very comfortable with. I'm hoping that it won't be a problem. But you know what the thing is? You never know. I always said, why don't you bring in 5 judges and take the median 3? Why wouldn't you do that? Why leave it just solely in the hands of 5? Grab 5, take the middle 3, the ones that agree on them, and those are the scores.
Yeah, and I think the beautiful thing was that the fighter in this case, Caleb, he doesn't think about that at all. He's worried about controlling the things that he can control. He can't control that. He's going to do what he has to do, and things will fall where they may.
Yeah, but sometimes they don't. Look, sometimes they don't. Like when Manny Pacquiao fought that kid. What was that kid? The Australian kid,
Jeff Horn.
Yeah, that was highway robbery, man. And guys like Manny Pacquiao can get away with it, but when guys like Badu Jack get screwed, and it changes what his next purse is going to be, and his family depends on those 3 judges, then you got a problem.
Well, do you think that Caleb Plant has made his impact on? Because to me, there's a lot of eyes on Caleb Plant right now. Do you think he's made enough impact that if he does get robbed, let's not say nothing terrible. I hate to say it, but if he does get robbed tomorrow, that it doesn't impact his career? I think at this point, people are going to be looking forward to seeing him again, especially if he performs very good tomorrow. Do you think is one of those situations where it's like it ruins the fighter?
I'll let Elvini handle this one, but let me just say this. Boxing is a very unforgiving sport. It's not like MMA where you have one promoter, one network, the best fight the best. Your record is insignificant. It's not that. What it is very record based. Floyd made the money he was because everybody wanted to see that go. I have a fighter that just took his first loss, and we took him to a promoter that was interested in him. He's like, oh man, he already lost. And I'm like, man, the kid's still as good as he is. So I think that does set fighters back. So I think it could screw him. Mike?
Yeah, I mean, of course it could screw him as far as his mental. Do I think it ruins him? Absolutely not. Like I said, he's bounced back from things that are way bigger than boxing. He's always going to be fine. I can't envision a scenario of anything that would crush him.
Well, here's the thing, Mike. So let me play the other side of that. Anytime you talk about Canelo Alvarez, you always bring up Floyd Mayweather because that was the one loss he had. So I think losses mean a lot in boxing. And look at Badu Jack. He's been screwed on 5 different occasions with close fights that should have went his way. I'll tell you 3 of them that were absolutely lopsided and awful. Nobody says, yeah, but he got screwed. No, they say he's got 4 losses. He's got 3 losses. Boxing's very unforgiving, and the boxing fan base is very unforgiving in that sense also. I think records matter a lot in boxing.
My man Tion Kennedy said, tell Mike and Amer I said what's up, and Amer, salam alaikum. Did I say it right? How you say it?
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullah, my brother.
Okay, there you go. I don't want to say it wrong, man. I don't want to be disrespectful. Guys, man, you guys are making some really good points. So before you guys get out of here, final prediction. What can the fans expect tomorrow? You know, let us know.
Abdallah.
I'm going to go with Caleb Plant by decision. I think 116-ish, 112. If it's scored fairly, I don't see that being an issue. I think what you're going to see, Caleb win a ton of the early rounds, put him in the bank. And there's going to come a moment of truth in the middle to late rounds of the fight where Caleb continue to push, and that's where the fight's going to be decided. I do expect Caleb to win the first 3 or 4 rounds handily.
So Caleb's gonna jump off to an early start, make Canelo have to. So okay? How do you see it, Amer?
Fuck it, you know, I never fly in the gray area. I like either black or white. I'm going all in, man. Caleb's gonna stop this motherfucker, you know, late in the fight.
11, round 11, round 12, something like that.
I think so. I think that's how it's gonna go.
Yo, if you guys do that, man, oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I don't think you know how excited I'll be, man. That's crazy if you guys can do it. Guys, thanks.
He's gonna shock the world tomorrow night. Every one of us firmly believes it. It's not hype, it's not talk, it's not cap, it's the real deal. Every one of us firmly believes that.
Anybody else want to say something to these two gentlemen before I get out of any questions about tomorrow, anything in general? You got Rob, stop Alvarez in the 8th. Rob said, I love it, Amer. Amer, you're gaining a lot of fans, man. A lot of people in here. They're loving what you're
Rob.
right now.
Thank you, brother.
Somebody said, Amer, please don't bet money. Oh, you got a hater.
No, that's okay. No, listen, everyone's entitled to their opinion, right? Everyone's entitled to their opinion. But as a Muslim, I don't bet. So if I did, I would have no problem dropping $100,000 on Caleb Plant. Easy.
Randy Willer said, how do you reach them? Yeah, let everybody know you guys' handles and how they can get in contact with you guys.
Mike?
Sure. I'm at MJ Alvini on Instagram. That's MJALVINI. You can get me there. Book Michael Alvini.
Alvini's the money man. So if you guys want to learn about money, that's the guy you guys got to talk to, man. We got Pull Counter Boxing saying Caleb Plant KO 10th round. I think you're selling the people, Amer, on a stoppage. Now,
what are you going to do? What are you going to do when you're used to controlling the fight? You're used to guys backing off. You're used to guys. I mean, come on. You telling me Kovalev was a fight for Canelo? Stop it. Canelo carried Kovalev into the later rounds for whatever reasons. Took a shot. What's his name? Oh boy, Kovalev looked for a soft spot, laid down. The fight was over. Come on, man. That wasn't a fight. You can't name the last 2 fights. What are you going to do when the guy in front of you is more of a dog than you? You're not going to stop him. He's outboxing. You're going to get desperate and you're going to get clipped because Caleb's not afraid to punch with Canelo. And his timing is impeccable. His eyes are sharp. And the only thing that's going to beat power is timing. And nobody does it better than Caleb Plant. He's going to frustrate the shit out of Canelo tomorrow. And Alvarez going to be in trouble. He might even get a little bit of roid rage tomorrow night. And he might even take a knee. He might even just wave it out. He might even know Moss himself.
Damn.
You never know what happens.
Where's Caleb Plant right now, bro? Where's Caleb right now? He's in the room chilling. What's he doing?
Caleb's home, relaxing. He's
That's right. He lives in Vegas, so he's actually in his house.
Caleb is resting. He's comfortable. He can't wait for tomorrow night. He's joking. He's laughing. Yesterday we were coming out. You know, he's hiding in corners, scaring people. He's playing with the guy. He's in great spirits. Very confident going into this fight.
Man.
And let me tell you another thing that would piss me off. When you start asking for ridiculous things, and I'm not privy to talk about some of the contract stipulations and negotiations, but when every absurd, and I call them absurd because I've been in part of a lot of these negotiations. This was absurd, and maybe you could say rightfully so because he is, you know, who he is. Every single statute, every single term, no problem. Rematch, no problem. Purse, no problem. Conditions, no problem. Gloves, no problem. Gave in to all of it. Why? He just wants the fight.
That's true. He did do that. That's true. And fighters don't do that nowadays.
No, they don't. You got guys that are fighting over 2%, 5%, whatever. Yes, I want the fight. I want the fight. Believe it or not, and this is a career high. This is life-changing money for Caleb. The money doesn't matter to him. The money doesn't, and there's his money guy right there. The money doesn't matter to him.
It doesn't. He would have fought him for free.
Yep. I don't know about free, Alvini, but yeah, we would have. It would have. Yeah, it's going to be a phenomenal fight. It's going to be a great fight. I mean, what a great card. I mean, what a great fight to put on.
I'm upset.
It's good for boxing.
You guys are making me feel bad for not being there right now. Now I wish
You should have been there.
I know. Now I wish I went.
There are tomorrow morning, Coach.
Huh?
There are flights out of Philly tomorrow morning.
I know. I might still do it, man. I might still do it. I'm not sure, man.
Probably in your room.
Yeah, man. So yeah, guys, you guys been a lot of fun, man. I think you guys basically let it be known how you guys are feeling, man. I want to say thank you guys both for coming on here, man, and talking with me. Amer, let the people know how to find you. You're a hell of a character, man. You were built for the camera. Let me tell you, man. This is what you do. You are built for the camera. Oh my God. Let the people know how to find you.
Thank you, brother. I'm Instagram at Team Abdallah. TeamAbdallah.
Okay, and Mike, you already let the people know how to find you, but say it again.
At MJ Alvini, MJINI.
Okay, all right. And are you taking on any clients, Mike? I mean, or are you only dealing with certain kinds of clients right now? Teaching them about money, finances, and all that.
Of course, we will meet with anybody. As far as taking on clients, that we meet with somebody and talk to them for a little bit.
Okay. All right, man. Thank you guys so much, man. I want to say thank you both for coming on. I will be watching. I will be rooting for you guys.
Thank you, brother. Thank you for everything. Keep up the great work, Anthony.
Thank you, Amer. Thank you, Mike.
Last words for you.
Undisputed.
Yeah, man.
Thanks for having me, Coach.
Yeah, no problem, Mike. Thank you.
Take care.
Yep. Guys, that was a lot of fun, man. Them guys are a trip, man. How can you guys not have love for a guy like Caleb Plant, who is coming? He's the underdog. He's been through so much. He lost his mother. He lost his daughter. The guy ain't scared. The guy's here to fight. The guy said yes to all stipulations. The guy has shown up in shape, prepared, ready to go. His first big fight is against arguably the best fighter of today's times within the last decade or so. How can you not have love? That's the ultimate Rocky story right there. You know what I'm saying? And he actually has a legitimate shot in this fight. The guy could box. The guy got a jab. He's got lateral movement. He's naturally the 168-pounder. He's never been in any kind of controversy about any performance enhancing drugs. Everything about Caleb Plant makes you want him to win. He's American. For all my American people, okay? For all my people from the United States of America, okay? This is kind of reminds me of like when Floyd Mayweather fought Pacquiao, right? And Floyd was like, it's a shame when you got all these Americans going for the other guy. You know what I mean? Americans, we got to learn to support our own sometimes. And don't get me wrong, I'm from a Latino heritage, right? And I love my Mexican people. Big shout out to my Mexicans. If you are an American fan, you got to have love for your American fighters. You know what I'm saying? And Caleb Plant is a true American fighter. I got a lot of respect for him. And let me go without saying this. I'm a big Canelo fan. I love how Canelo boxes. I think Canelo is a fantastic fighter. I think Canelo does some of the most beautiful things I've seen in recent times in that boxing ring. I've been picking Canelo since before probably a lot of y'all know who Canelo was. So by no means am I a Canelo hater. But in boxing, you gotta love the underdog, especially when the underdog is coming in clean, trying to win legitimately, and especially when we've heard little whispers about cheating coming out of that camp. It's gotta rub you the wrong way. I'm not saying anything. I'm just saying, just being real. Tomorrow we got a great fight, man. And I hope that it lives up to it. I just hope that Caleb Plant lives up to his end. I'm very sure that Canelo is going to live up to his end. The only question mark is, how does Caleb do under this pressure? And we did see what Amer had to say about that. You know, Amer made some very good points when it comes to Caleb. You know, can he handle this? I mean, Amer made the perfect points. It's like, what can't he handle after all he's been through in his life? So, big shout out to Caleb Plant. Big shout out to the Plant team. Big shout out to Mike Alvini. Big shout out to Amer. Big shout out to, you know, Caleb Plant's father, who personally told me he's a fan of mine. I mean, how can I not root for these guys? I got to show these guys love. But also, big shout out to Canelo for being such a, you know, good fighter over the past decade. And if he does lose tomorrow, hey, man, it's all good. You know what I mean? It's boxing. Let's see what the people got to say. Trying to catch up with some of your comments. My man Ramon Reversa is easy to root for Plant. My man Samir said big facts. We got that American flag coming on. Big shout out to the American people. Listen, if you're a Latino or African American, don't forget that you're American. If you're from this country, if you grew up in the United States of America, don't forget that you're American. You know what I'm saying? A lot of the times, you know, and I'm speaking to my minorities right now. A lot of the times we forget that we American, man. We were born here in America. When we go to the UK, when we go to Japan, when we go to Hong Kong, all these different countries, we go to anywhere that's not American, we American. We proud to be American then. We got to be proud to be American while we here too. All right? America's a thorough country, man. Come on, man. You talking about home of the brave, baby. Come on, man. We got to represent for American people, man. All right? Caleb's a dog. He's underestimated until tomorrow night. Jorge said, Canelo stole your logo, coach. Listen, I've been saying boxing life. Go on my Instagram. I've been saying boxing life since before Canelo was even a thing. Next thing you know, Canelo says boxing is life. And I've been Coach Anthony since y'all knew who Canelo was. I just wasn't as famous, right? I've been had the CA going, but you know, Canelo's Canelo. Big shout out to Canelo, man. Rob said, great job, Coach Anthony Alvini told me about you, and you are the man. Great job facilitating and leading the convo. Thank you so much, man. You know, no days off November. I'm coming on here every single day for the month of November. We turning nothing into something, man. We having fun with this. I'm trying my best to bring on people. We had Tevin Farmer on here yesterday. We had Team Plant on here today. Hopefully, Caleb Plant does what he's supposed to do tomorrow. And we may even have Caleb Plant on here. You know what I'm saying? And we'll see, man. We'll see how things go. Mr. Miyagi said Canelo is going to expose this fool. Listen, we'll see. We'll see. Canelo might. We'll see. Tion Kennedy said, don't forget to inbox me, bro. Nah, Tion, listen, I'm definitely going to hit you up. For those of you guys are going to be, this is going to be really dope for us to talk to you, talk about your life, talk about your story, everything you've been through, Tion. You know, you definitely laid your mark in history in boxing. And for those of the people who don't know who you are, we're going to make sure they know when we're done. You know what I'm saying? Tion Kennedy. Big shout out to Tion Kennedy. Stephen Polconi said, Canelo said punishment will be placed upon Caleb. Yo, listen, I ain't gonna lie. Canelo looks like he really want to hurt Caleb. Like, he looked like it, man. He mad. Boy, is he mad. We gonna see. Douglas Ward said, the main thing that this has making for a great fight, and that's always good for boxing. Douglas Ward, what's up, Doug, man? Big shout out to Doug, man. Doug's been a lot of help over the years, especially with, you know, everything, man. I want to say thank you, Doug, man. Been in boxing for a very, very long time, and appreciate your input, Doug. Listen, man, it's going to be a good fight, man. I'm excited, man. I can't wait. I wish it was tomorrow right now. But you know what? Sometimes I like that anticipation. It makes you get excited. You know, you wake up tomorrow, you're like, all right, let me go to the gym, get a little workout. out and let me go ahead and get ready. Let me see what I'm going to eat. You know, you get the food ready. You're excited. It's fight night, man. It's cold here in Jersey, Philly, New York, man. We ain't got nowhere to go. So we get the chance to stay home and watch some good boxing. I'm excited. Room for Plant 100%, but first thing, having one or two top 10 guys in the resume is another thing. Having 15 odd plus 4 or 5, 1, 2, or 3 guys. Hope I'm wrong, but Canelo experience has him on a different level. I mean, listen, on paper, you ain't lying. We can't deny it. Listen, I don't want to sound biased all the time because obviously I am a little biased, right? You guys see the relationship that I got with Alvini and Amer. I mean, these guys have been friends of mine for a long time. Been supporting me and everything I do for a long time. And if these guys are part of Plant's team, then I'm supporting what they're doing. So, you know, for me, you know, I am a little biased. But at the same time, we can't ignore the facts. The facts is Canelo on paper, and Amer said it himself. Canelo on paper is you know, on paper, he's the man. I mean, come on, let's just keep it real. Big shout out to Canelo Alvarez. He's the man. You know what I'm saying? But at some point, there comes another man who's here to take you off your pedestal. You know what I'm saying? And we'll see if Caleb Plant can do it tomorrow. Live for Music, great live. Make sure you guys hit that like button. Yeah, man. Make sure y'all hit that like button, man. Big shout out to Live for Music, man. Make sure y'all go to her YouTube channel and follow her. What's the YouTube channel? Live for Music. Trying to go through these, man. I'm trying to go through these comments, man. You guys are dropping them in here, and I'm falling behind. I'm falling behind a little bit. Ramon Rivera said Under Armour owes you a check or CA brand identity. That's a fact. Definitely. My man B Bone said, I know Mexicans who can't stand Canelo. Listen, man, you're always gonna have people that are your own kind who ain't gonna like you. You know what I'm saying? I know Puerto Ricans that don't like me. I know black people that don't like Floyd. You know what I'm saying? I mean, there's white people who don't like Caleb Plant. You know what I mean? Listen, can't make everybody happy. Benjamin Cuevas said, if Plant loses, I want Amer back in here if Plant loses, I want Amer back and hear him eat crow. Well, I don't know. I don't really know what that means, but I get it. I kind of get it. Yeah, we're gonna bring Amer back in here if Caleb loses, man. And let's see if Amer picks up the phone for me. If Caleb loses, we'll see if Amer picks up the phone. But we're gonna bring him back in here. I want to hear what he got to say myself. Justin Adams, I always wonder why boxing is so racially divided compared to other sports. You know, there's something about representing your culture, you know, in a fight. I think that just the promotion has always been like that, and I think it's just traditional now at this point. You know, you got the Mexican fighter versus the Puerto Rican fighter, you got the black fighter versus the Mexican fighter, you got the European fighter against the American fighter. You know, for a while when Pacquiao was on top, you had the Filipino fighter against the Mexican fighter. You know what I mean? So I just think that that's something that has been, you know, kind of just marketed that way to us for many years, and then next thing you start to just go with it. And then I think another thing is when you see a fighter from your own ethnicity, you feel like it's you in the ring. Let's be real. Like I noticed when like Lomachenko and like when Lomachenko fought or Triple G, I noticed that a lot of white people started to watch boxing just to watch those two guys fight. I remember people would be like, "Oh, Triple G," and then Lomachenko, and then you had like now you got Usyk. You know what I'm saying? And these guys aren't even American. These guys are just white, and you have these white people that are behind them because it reflects them, right? You got Canelo. All the Mexicans want to just jump on Canelo. Now, of course, when you get so big, then people start to turn on you. You know what I'm saying? Same thing with Floyd Mayweather. You know what I'm saying? All the black people support Floyd Mayweather and all the black fighters. Puerto Ricans, we got behind Felix Trinidad back in the day, and then it turned into Miguel Cotto. And it's just a natural thing. It's not really a racist thing. It's more so like you see your own self in that person. You know, I can relate when I see a Latino fighter on there. I can relate when I see a black fighter on there. I can relate when I see a white person on there if I'm white. You know what I'm saying? But see, what happened to me is a little different. See, I was a big Felix Trinidad fan. Huge Felix Trinidad fan. Then he went ahead and he fought Felix Trinidad. Felix Trinidad went and fought Bernard Hopkins. And Bernard Hopkins, not only did he disrespect Puerto Rico by grabbing the flag out of Trinidad's hand and throwing it on the floor, you know what I'm saying, and all this stuff. And I remember that like it was yesterday. And I was so mad. I was like, oh, he grabbed the flag, threw it on the floor. How disrespectful can you be? And, I'm like, Trinidad gonna knock his ass out. I didn't know boxing like that back then. You feel me? I was just new. You know what I mean? I just got into boxing. You know what I mean? Really, I was still fresh. And then I think I might have had one amateur fight at that time. And then I remember like, oh man, I remember just seeing how Bernard Hopkins dominated Trinidad, right? Just dominated him and then stopped him in the 11th. And what I learned from that was, I was like, damn, had I knew more about boxing, I would have seen this coming. Because like the skill set that Bernard had and the size difference that he had over Trinidad, if you were a real boxing person, you knew it. And I remember I was training at a gym in Florida at the time. It was called the Steve Shepard Gym. Rest in peace of Steve Shepard. He was a world champion kickboxer, and he used to do a lot of business with Lou Duva, and he was very highly regarded in Florida at the time. And I remember I walked up to him and I was like, hey, Steve, who's going to win the fight with Trinidad and Bernard? He was like, I think Bernard got that. And then we went around the gym, and at the time, all of Lou Duva's fighters were training at the gym that I was training out of. So you had guys like Emmanuel Augustus, Alexis Trujillo, who used to come in, Andrew Galata. Like I got a chance to watch all these guys train when I was just an amateur. And I remember all of them picked Hopkins, all of them. And I was like, hell no, man, Trinidad's going to win. And we saw what happened. You feel me? So then I stopped being a fan of the race, and I more became a fan of styles. So like when Winky Wright fought Trinidad, I picked Winky Wright because I already fell in love with the high guard style that Winky had. I remember when I lived in Florida and I see Winky fighting like this, then I started sparring like this and catching everything on my arms, and I started to emulate Winky Wright in sparring. And I even brought it into some of my amateur fights. And I was like, I like this style because it's easy. I don't got to worry about slipping and stuff. And it was just a way to make boxing a little easier for me at that particular time. As I got older, I feel like this is actually harder. But at that time, I felt like it was easier. I watched Winky Wright win a world title doing it. And then I became, obviously, a Floyd Mayweather fan. And I've never picked a Puerto Rican fighter over Floyd Mayweather. I picked nothing but Floyd Mayweather over everybody he's ever fought. So for me, it became a style thing, skill thing. I don't look at it no longer from a racial thing, but race definitely plays a big part in what people what people feel, especially when they're just getting into the sport and they're not looking at it from a unbiased opinion. You're kind of just reflecting yourself through the fighter. I just went on when it came to this particular question for some reason, but it's true. The reason I did is because it's something that needs to be talked about, but there's nothing wrong with it. You know what I mean? As long as people can be respectful about it and people don't like tarnish each other over it, there's nothing wrong with rooting for your own. You feel me? And that white voice, oh, Lomachenko, Triple G. I mean, it's a fact. Who didn't know Triple G fans that was like, he's the best of all time? And you're just like, really? Like, she could punch good, but the best of all time? Like, Lomachenko was like 3 fights in. I told you. And I'm just like, really? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, don't get me wrong. Phenomenal fighters. Phenomenal fighters. You know what I mean? Yo, coach, what's good? Nice to see you on the lives. Keep up the good work, bro, man. I appreciate you guys, man. Listen, I'm just having fun with this, man. And I want to say thank you to you guys for pulling up in here. You know what I mean? Without you guys, I ain't got it live, right? You know, I remember when I used to see guys say that, they'd be like, man, if it wasn't for the fans, you know, I don't like to call anybody fans. I like to call people supporters. So I don't call nobody fans. Everybody's a supporter. If you're in here, you're a supporter. You know what I'm saying? I just want to say thank you for the support. You know what I mean? People laughing, live laughing. Justin, I appreciate your insight, coach. What happens if both Canelo and Plant guess out late? Who has the advantage? Oh man, that's a weird question. That's a weird question. Never thought of that. Um, if they both gas out late, it's gonna be who's ever doing better in the fight has the advantage. I would say so. If Plant is doing better, then he knows he just has to continue to do whatever he was doing at the best of his ability. And especially if you have a tired Canelo in front of you, you should be able to pull it off. And if Canelo's winning, it's going to be the same thing. Canelo just has to keep doing what he was doing. It's going to have to be a little less of it. So I'm going to say whoever is winning the fight has the advantage. Whoever has been executing their game plan has the advantage. I can't give you a complete answer like, oh, Canelo got it or Plant has it, because we have to see how the fight plays out first. Now, if you wanted to give a quick answer, you're going to say, well, obviously Canelo has the advantage because he's the experienced guy, but the experience isn't going to matter if he's getting his ass whooped most of the fight. And then out of nowhere, he's tired and out. If he's getting whooped the whole fight, he's not going to do much better if he's gassed. You're going to get the best Canelo when he's got energy. You're going to get the best Canelo when he has his strength, his speed, his timing. And so I'm going to say the person who is winning the fight has the advantage at that particular moment tomorrow night. You know what I mean? If Plant whips, I'm gonna pump my fist and yell, Plant's the best fighter ever. Yeah, man. Listen, do what you do, man. There's nothing wrong with that, Mark. You know what I mean? You gotta stick with your peoples, man. Listen, I'll be doing it too because Plant is an American. So I'll be like, yeah, there goes my American brother doing what he's supposed to do. You know what I'm saying? But listen, man, you know, there's nothing wrong with it, man. But when you're making a prediction, try to make a prediction based off of logic and data, not a prediction based off of just race and emotion. Showtime Sports. Salute, Coach Anthony. Hope you're ready for a fun weekend of boxing. I don't know if this is the real Showtime Sports, but if it is, salute to Showtime Sports. Colin Roser, how often should you spar in a week? I'm new to boxing. If you're new to boxing, you probably shouldn't even be considering sparring at the moment. Um, but if you do get to the sparring point, it just depends, man. I would say just listen to your coach on this one, man. Don't really take my advice on this. You should be doing this under the supervision of a coach anyway. So, I just think that whatever your coach feels appropriate, there's no actual number on how many times you spar a week. It's more so what's important is that you're working on what needs to be worked on in a controlled environment. And if you're a beginner, definitely a controlled environment. I've had beginners spar up to 5 times a week against guys that are experienced who aren't going to hurt them. So, the main answer is what kind of sparring? Is it supervised? What are you working on? What kind of hits are you taking? What kind of punishment are you taking in the sparring? A lot of different factors that come into it. There's no one size fits all answer. Like, all right, you're going to do 2 spars, 3 heavy bag sessions, 3 runs. It doesn't work like that. You know what I mean? I know in a perfect world it would work like that, but it doesn't. It's very individual based off your individual needs. You know what I'm saying? So the goal is to get under the supervision of a coach that knows what he's doing and let him guide you. Clint. Let me go ahead before I get on here, man. I want to talk to a couple of you guys. If anybody in here wants to come up in here and just said your opinion, you know what I'm saying? Come in here, chop it up with me for a few minutes before I get out of here. We had Team Plant in here today. That was really dope. And get a couple of you guys' opinion. And then, you know what I'm saying? Call it a night until tomorrow. Put the link in here for you guys a few more times, guys. Give you guys an opportunity real quick to pull up in here. Oh man, I'm getting so many messages, man. So many messages, guys. So yeah, man. All right, so go through a few more of these. If I don't get one of you guys coming up in here, now I'm gonna just get up out of here. Benjamin Cueva said, I'm got Canelo on this one. Love Gray said, peace out, coach. Peace, my boy. Give you guys about 2 more minutes. If not, we're going to cap this thing at 1 hour and 15 minutes. Just so you guys know, of course, you got the ground up 50, man. 50% off the course. And we got the C8 Power Hour, 60% off the course. I ain't even promoted this whole show. I told you I'm only promoting these on my lives. If you go to my Instagram, you're not going to see it. You're not going to really, you know what I mean? This is something that I'm promoting just on the lives. And if you guys want to go ahead and grab a course, you guys are more than welcome to get one at 60% off or 50% off. And if you guys aren't going to pull up in here right now and come talk to me, I just want to say thank you for coming on here. And tomorrow, I think I'm going to do a pregame. I'm going to do a pregame live. So episode 6 will be before the fight. I was considering doing a play-by-play during the fight, but I don't think I'm going to do that. But we'll see how that goes. And of course, after the fight, we got to go ahead and we got to talk about the results of the fight. So I'll probably be on here tomorrow before the fight and immediately after the fight. So I'm gonna need you guys to just be ready. Timmy Sins, what's up, Timmy? Planting the first few rounds, then all Canelo. Okay, damn. Ramon Rivera, with plant style, ring IQ, and height advantage, do you think those things alone will take away Canelo's punch variety like the uppercut? I don't see the uppercut being a big punch for Canelo tomorrow. I see Canelo having success with like a hook, overhand right, shots like that, maybe some work to the body. I don't think the uppercut's going to land on Caleb too much because Caleb's taller. He knows how to use his jab. He knows how to use lateral movement. I would be very surprised if Caleb gets hit with a lot of uppercuts, unless he gets hurt with a shot and then, Canelo follows up with an uppercut or something like that. But the uppercut being a weapon of choice for Canelo tomorrow, I'll be pretty surprised because Canelo's shorter. Caleb is taller. Caleb has good lateral movement. Like I said, he's got the reach. He's going to stay at distance. It's going to be hard to get the uppercut off. But I do see Canelo with his feinting and his upper body movement and his elusiveness and his slip counters being very dangerous for Caleb. And early, I think it's very dangerous for Caleb to exchange with Canelo early. I think if Canelo does somehow get a stoppage tomorrow, early is a very big chance that he can get it early because of his, power and experience and stuff like that. I would be very surprised if Caleb Plant got a stoppage. Amer says he's going to get a stoppage late. I would be very surprised. I can see Caleb getting a decision before I can see him getting a stoppage. So we'll see what happens. I see Canelo the winner tomorrow. Plant is good, but not good enough to beat Canelo. This is actually the first time he will face a world-class fighter. Well, we're going to see. I'm going Plant. Just have a feeling he'll be able to use his distance with his jab as long as he doesn't keep the same pattern like Billy Joe kept ducking down and took one uppercut from Canelo. Style-wise, Plant is supposed to win. Think cuts will play a factor. Does Plant is Plant known for cuts? I don't know. Canelo will land some counter uppercuts because Canelo has good timing. Canelo has fantastic timing. I just don't know if the uppercut's going to be the shot that lands. Like I said, I think it's going to be more hooks or overhand rights. Yeah, so all right, guys. That's gonna be a wrap for today. Episode 5 of No Days Off November. We got plenty of time to talk, guys. I'm going live every single day for the month of November. You guys already know, man. I'm going live every single day for the month of November. So all you guys gotta do is pull up in here and come chop it up with me. We're gonna talk tomorrow. We're gonna talk immediately after the fight. We're gonna talk again Monday through Friday. Next week, I'm gonna have some different stuff to talk about. So we're going to keep it going, man. So we're not going to burn this thing out. Don't forget about the Round Up 50 sale. And don't forget about the CA Power Hour sale. Okay, guys, I want to say thank you so much for pulling up in here. Go grab a course if you haven't already grabbed one. Thank you for your love and support. And you already know.